being Jewish is important to me. I think it begins because it's how I grew up, and I'm very deeply rooted in the Jewish tradition, and it's always been part of my life. In a funny way, I asked myself that question. I've been, talking to my congregation about this idea that Judaism should be meaningful in people's lives. And before High Holidays this year, I asked myself the question, well, Michael, is Judaism meaningful in your life? Or is it just you grew up in a Jewish home and you had a very Jewish, lifestyle growing up, and so it's just kind of how you are, but is it actually meaningful? And it was good to challenge myself, and I talked about it on High Holidays to the congregation and talked about some ways that I felt, in fact, Judaism deeply shapes my life, and not just in terms of ritual practice, but really in terms of my values, in terms of the way I act in the world, and that it's the small things that really make a difference. I talked about this little practice I've taken on, which is there's this website called Catalog Choice that you can go and you can put on it all the catalogs you get in the mail that you want to stop getting to help the environment, et cetera, et cetera. And basically every time now that we get catalogs, I've put over 60 catalogs just for myself on this. And it's not that I think that somehow I'm changing the world or ending global warming. It's a meaningful practice to me, right? It's sort of taking this notion of doing something, of engaging, and doing it my own choice, and it's meaningful to me. And I think there are plenty of other things like that, and other things that are really attitudinal. There's the notion that life is complex, that it's not yes or no. I think for me that comes deeply from Jewish traditions and teachings of the rabbis. Could you find the same wisdom in other traditions? Of course. I don't know that Judaism has a monopoly on any particular piece of wisdom. But for me, partly because of the background, and because this is my tradition, and because it continues to speak to me, that Judaism is meaningful both in ways I try to live my life, and ways I feel challenged by Judaism, and attitudes to how to be in the world, both in small ways and big ways.